Waking up knowing there's a reason.
Well, hello and welcome to the Pop Podcast. I'm happy that you guys have decided to join us. There's a couple things that I like to start with. One, the vision of this podcast is that it would be a pool of peace or a portion of peace for your day. So we view the church or the Christian body as like a Tahoe wave, our church like a Tahoe wave, one that would go out and it leaves behind water among the rocks. That would be like a pool of peace, a portion of peace. So hopefully that's what this is, whether that comes from laughing or just intrigue or Holy Spirit convictions sometimes can be peaceful in nature, even though it's hard to receive sometimes. So I hope that that's what it is for you. I also know that our prayer is that this podcast would be sent to, or that this conversation would get to those that need to hear it. And you are going to be a part of that by liking or sharing or some of those things. So one, that's what we think about the podcast. It would be a portion of peace. And two, other people need it. So like, share those things. With us today, we have Zachary Hill, my good friend. Thanks for joining.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So are you, let's just set the record straight for when I make the title, and you're going to be offended by me asking this. Are you a Zach or a Zach?
It's a ch. It's a ch.
It's a ch.
It's a ch.
Well, with the ch, we have a pop and bottle drink. Each guest gets a drink, and you're going to have to rate it at the end of the podcast. So don't tell us your rating now. But this is a pop and bottle matcha green tea almond latte. Feels like there's too many like potential flavors here.
It's a heavy bottle too.
It is. It's dense, as matcha usually is. Kind of a milky look to it. Yeah. Well, cheers, my friend.
Yes, sir.
Man, it's a beautiful bottle. And it's, pop and bottle. I wonder why they call it pop and bottle.
It's catchy,
But
probably.
the pop podcast, the pop and bottle drink.
It works.
We've got Ashley and Robbie that are really thinking this stuff through for sure. Yeah. Sweet. Okay, Zach, you and I have known each other since 2014, 2015?
2015.
Somewhere around there.
Yeah.
When we met in high school.
Yeah.
But when I had met you, you'd already known Jesus. So how did Jesus enter your life? Was that something you grew up with? What did that look like?
Yeah. So as far as family life goes, my family wasn't directly Christian specifically. Like we didn't go to church regularly. My mom comes from a Mormon family, actually, and she ended up leaving the Mormon faith previously, long time before I really remember any of that. As far as when I started my faith walk was actually the Bells family, Jared and Ethan. I hung out with them a lot, and they ended up inviting me to various church events.
And they were just next door neighbors.
Yeah, they live right down the street, a couple houses down. Met them through Cub Scouts, so we just ended up linking up that way. And then they started inviting me to various things. Kids camp, I came to a couple times with them.
So, and just for perspective of where we live in El Dorado County, a couple houses down, in the city, that means like 10 steps.
Yeah.
More than that, but being a little dramatic. In El Dorado County, that was, they were 50 acres away.
Yeah, probably. It was probably like a 3 to 5 minute bike ride, depending, and it's down a dirt road too. Yeah. Like we're, all the way back and as far back as they can go. So we're all the way out there. So,
so a couple houses down, they were inviting you to things, kids camp.
Mm-hmm. And then youth group post that. And youth group actually had an interesting introduction because I had David and Nick previously as basketball coaches before I even came here.
So David, lead pastor, Nick, youth pastor at the time.
Yeah. So showing up to youth group and then seeing a familiar face other than the people that brought me was obviously a pull in. And then I started doing like Mission Placerville, stuff like that, hanging out more. I really started spending a lot of time with Nick through high school, back and forth. Like he would pick me up occasionally on youth group days from high school and I'd hang out and do all that stuff. So definitely my faith walk started there with youth group and doing all that. I think at that point I wasn't super serious in it. I would say it was very, beginning to understand. Like I think I had the intellectual belief that you get, like you read it, it makes sense. You're like,
Yeah.
yeah, this makes sense.
Yeah.
This tracks. There was a year of Mission Placerville where there was a solid rock worship set, and you were there for that.
Yes.
That worship set, I'm pretty sure like half the crowd was crying during that, because there were
Yeah.
some really deep stories shared during
Yeah.
that by the worship leaders for that, and that was a pretty impactful moment for me that really solidified kind of the realness. It was kind of that next step forward that I started to feel, and then I kind of almost stagnated a little bit for a while, and then a couple years after I graduated, I was kind of sitting there, and it was I think it was on a youth group day, if I remember correctly. It was on some day there was an event that I could have gone to that I didn't. I was just sitting there playing like League of Legends or something. I was playing a video game, and I was sitting there, and I was like, what am I doing right now? Like, why am I doing this rather than anything else? Like, why would I not go to church right now? Why would I not go be in that community? So that was the like line of, I need to be intentional. And that was really when I started, really increasing involvement, starting coming consistently Sunday mornings, more consistently to youth group, except for apparently this month when I'm sick half the time. It really, it really varies. But starting to be that intentional consistency. And I think for me, that was really important, of like, I am consistently making time, and I'm consistently being present in the time that I'm making. Yeah. And that really started to help me build the foundation and
That's
really
cool.
grow deeper for sure.
Yeah. I remember that moment when that happened, of you tapping back in, so to speak. That's cool. Well, it's funny that you bring up the Solid Rock worship set. That's when I received my call into ministry. So that was obviously very Holy Spirit led, impactful night. But so you're the reason why I'm here at Cold Springs Church, because at high school, I come in from homeschool, kind of tap into a similar friend group. You were like in multiple different,
I was all over the place.
but you knew Tyler and Jonathan from soccer, two friends that we had, and then you invited me to youth group, and the rest is history.
The rest is history.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. So even in high school, you had an internship with a local tech company that does IT and setting up Wi-Fi networks and a bunch of other stuff. And so walk me through some of your journey from interning in high school to where you were with TechRose specifically.
Yeah, so the internship was right after we graduated, like directly afterward. It was that direct afterward. And that was a like very surface level, like I was there for like 4 hours a day, like 3 days a week. Like I was there for very surface level stuff, just doing stuff in the office, very simple, repairing the computers that were brought in by like end users that are like, my computer's slow, we need to figure out, what's going on. Like, and most of the time it's hard drives broken or whatever. So I did that, and I was interning for him while I was still in college. So I would go do my courses and then come afterward or go before, depending upon my schedule at Folsom Lake. While I was doing programming courses, I was looking towards a comp sci degree. So while I was doing that, I did that internship style for 6 months to a year-ish. And I started being more adept at what I was doing, being able to do stuff on my own, handle more stuff. So Kevin, the owner of that company, ended up talking to me, and he's like, hey, I need to bring somebody on full time. Do you want to step up and do that? Yeah. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, well, IT is degree or work experience. So I guess I'm taking the work experience route. So then started working full time, straight from like 12 hours a week to 40. Boom. Just straight into the 9 to 5. And I think my favorite part of doing that job is he's done so much broad spectrum, like anything from fixing a single computer's part to like gigantic networks at like, he's done EDC Vegas's Wi-Fi network, like that level of back and forth of that breadth. So the stuff that I would go do on a daily basis is like, okay, I go fix this computer one day, and then I'm crawling in an attic with him running cable, right? So we're doing like everything and anything. So it kept it really fresh for me, especially. And I worked there for 5 years. And he taught me basically everything I know as far as working in that environment. And it was just an incredible opportunity that just kind of, because he did the IT for my dad's company. My dad was like, "Hey, he's looking for an intern. Call him."
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
I
yeah.
called him, and that's how it sprung up. And then I ended up working for him for 5 years, and then now I work at the state of California doing the same stuff, but
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
very different working for the state of California versus
sure.
going and doing anything and everything.
Yeah.
So
I think I'm realizing, just how similar our tracks have been. I mean, you and I like bonded, I think the most after high school because all of our friends left. And it was like, what the heck? No one wants to be here in Placerville, California anymore.
Yep.
And so we bonded over that. And then obviously being at church and highly in relationship with the youth pastor, Nick. But I was an intern right after high school as well. And then that translated to further. Yeah, that's cool. Okay, so you made the switch from Tech Row to the state. And what's the biggest difference between private sector and state work?
Pacing
Yeah.
is 100%. So I basically, the way I like to look at it is at Tech Row, like if there was a purchase that needed to be made, I'd just call the owner of the company we were working with or whoever
Yeah.
managed the finances, say, "Hey, we need to spend this. This is why." And usually it was, "Okay,
Yeah.
go do it." At the state, it is, I grab the requisition form out of our files. I fill it out with all the stuff
Yep.
that I need, where we can get it from, and we can only work with specific vendors because they have to be state vetted, and
Yeah.
there's a lot of rules we have to follow with that procurement. I send that to our procurement department. Well, actually, I send that to my manager first. She approves it. Then I send it to procurement. And then depending upon the size of the order, either we can do it ourselves or it has to go to the Department of General Services. If it's a big enough order, which
Yeah.
is over like $5,000 or something.
Yeah.
If it goes to the Department of General Services, that is a black box. I don't get to see it until it's like, yeah, the order's on its way. It's like, okay, that was 2 months ago. Like, I
Yeah.
needed that like 2 months ago, but
Yeah.
okay. Thankfully with our procurement department, it goes a lot faster, but it's definitely the like logistical steps, and it's a lot more emails too. A lot more like back and forth conversation that has to
There's
be
a
had before we
web
do
that you
stuff.
have to navigate.
Yeah, there's a lot more inner like department planning that needs to be
Yeah.
done because at Tech Row it was, if I don't do this, nobody's going to.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I make the plan and do the plan, and we move on.
You're playing the role of all
All
of
the
those
things.
departments.
Correct. Yeah.
'Cause
And now
on a
it's
smaller
okay.
scale.
I need
Yeah.
to make sure impact on this department there isn't going to be any impact here. There isn't going to be impact here.
Yeah.
Do we have it in the budget to do this? All this stuff, which is not stuff I had to worry about at Tech Row that much. So.
Oh, really? Okay. I guess I would see it as with the state, you're much more just IT rather than also procurement and also planning and some
sure.
of those things. Would you say that's accurate? That you were much
Yeah.
more in like a silo, so to speak?
For sure. At Tech Row, there was a lot because Kevin would travel a lot because he did a lot of international stuff. So
Yeah.
he was out of the country a lot. So basically, I was running the company solo for a couple of years. As far as like logistically for the company itself running, other than doing the work, there wasn't a ton. But I was doing it all, right?
Yeah,
so I
yeah,
was
yeah.
opening everything, answering the phones, doing everything.
For sure.
Right. But as far as like needing to make sure we're in budget and stuff like that, that was up to the companies we were working for to figure out if it was in their budget because
Yeah.
we're purchasing it for them, so we're charging them that amount.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, there's just different logistical hurdles that I have to jump through now that are it's just different. It's
for
it's
sure.
it's definitely pacing is the whole like
Yeah.
if I have to pick one word, it's pacing for sure.
That's cool. So you're obviously super involved with tech. I mean, our generation naturally is. You and I, though, like, I think, I don't know, this has been my experience, maybe not yours. I relate both to Gen Z and millennial. Like, we got our phones a lot quicker than most millennials, but we also didn't grow up with it just inherently in our hand like most Gen Z has. That's also some of our community, though, as well. Yeah, I don't know. There's a few different factors. But we're definitely more tech savvy as a generation as Gen Z, naturally. What have you seen in some big, whether it's in the IT space or just your aptitude to it in general, what have you seen big shifts as of late?
AI is the massive one that
Yeah.
everybody's jumping into it. Biggest thing is currently at the state, we don't have policy for that, so we can't use it.
Yeah.
So basically, I've had to block a lot of AI functionality.
Interesting.
Because we don't have a policy to run it, so we're not allowed to use it unless we have a policy made to use it properly.
Yeah.
Because obviously there's some danger to privilege information, all this other stuff that you have to think about as you're, working with state records or, within all that stuff. So AI is the big push forward that is obviously right now, like everybody's focused on like, what's the next AI innovation? What's the next thing that we can have AI do?
Yeah.
And like I use it separately. Like I use ChatGPT for all sorts of stuff. Like we've used it for various things.
Totally.
And I think it's a really cool innovation. It's a super cool tool, and it has a lot of potential to make a lot of things easier. But it's definitely there's a delicate balance with AI, the way that it's being used currently, because there's you get this really big technological innovation. There's always the just massive wave of people using it for anything and everything. And then it's like, okay, hang on, we gotta.
All of the unintended consequences start to come out.
For sure.
Yeah. What a lot of people are very anxious about AI, and I would even say like I would fall into that camp in some aspects. What would you say like to those that are anxious, that are fearful about AI, in your minimal knowledge or your knowledge about it? Should people be anxious? What are the bright sides, the negatives?
I think with any major technological innovation, there is danger of it being used for, like, I'll use war or whatever as an example, right? And there's the like good uses where you're using it as a tool to assist workload, doing these things. It's like helpful, like Siri, for example. You can be like, hey, set a whatever for a timer for this, or put something in my calendar. There's these nice things that you see, and that's like the surface level. And then you see the AI robots that are being built, like straight up, like Boston Dynamics building a straight up person out of robotic parts. Obviously, that's where it starts to get like, that's a little weird. I don't know how I feel about that. Like, and then you see like down in LA, they have like the little robots, the delivery driver robots. It's literally like DoorDash basically, but they're just little robots that drive down the street. And like, you start reaching a line. It's like, okay, where is the line of where I consider bad versus good? Like, where are we hitting? I think as it starts to, usually the bad actors that it gets called that's a common term in like networking and stuff like that, is hackers or nefarious usage. They usually get there first. They usually will hit the innovation mark first. So you'll see the bad before you see the good. Usually the good comes behind. So usually with technological innovation, you have the boom of like, everybody uses it for everything. It is literally everywhere. Then it funnels down a little bit, and the good side kind of shrinks because they're like, okay, we really got to figure out how to make this work properly and actually have the proper
ethically
controls and channels that we want to see. But when you see that, and I think we're reaching that point where everything's starting to funnel a little tighter, the bad stuff is still there because they don't care. They don't need to have those controls. So that's the part that's a little bit wary for me, at least, is like, what are the innovations that they're going to spark now that AI is as powerful as it is now, because it's reached the point where it's not, you look at something and you go, that's definitely AI. You have to really look, especially like videos and stuff that you watch, you got to really look at it and go, is that AI? Like, that's like,
unless if it's like a wild concept. I think we could question more videos that we see on social media.
Oh, 100%.
And right now we can go, oh, that's AI because it's a Yeti holding an iPhone.
Right.
Like, okay.
And that's the harmless stuff, right? Like people making those funny things.
But the only reason you're questioning is because it's such a wild concept.
Exactly.
Not because of the quality anymore. Like it,
Yeah, and I've seen like these like comparison videos on my feeds, like TikTok feeds of like, which one's AI? And I don't get them right every time. And I'm like, that's dangerous. Because, we're...
And I think the thing that you're saying with the bad actors is that it's widely accessible. Like creating those videos like it's free. or it's minimal charge, like
Yeah.
subscription based or whatever.
Yeah.
And yeah, there's some crazy stuff you can do.
Oh yeah. It's an insanely powerful tool that can be used for anything. And I think the biggest thing we're going to see right now, like the biggest like thing to be wary of, is misinformation. That's going to be the big thing that's going to be pushed by AI.
Totally.
Because it's so easy to produce misinformation with a tool that powerful.
Well, it's going to lead us to where, I think, at least I've said this a few times, is that I think it's going to push us as a generation, as a people, to start to move towards this, where it's not, and I'm not even talking about this as posted on the internet.
Yeah.
I'm talking about literally you and I
here.
sitting across from each other, that people are going to push towards that more than they're going to push towards what is online.
Yeah.
Because this is tangible. Like, I can see you. I know that you're real. Whereas if I'm watching this on social media or I'm watching this online,
Yeah, that brings up a really interesting point because over the last, like, we'll say 20 years, so like from the early 2000s to now, we've seen a real technological like boom of things, your life being lived online. But I wonder if we're going to see a regression as we fall back into like people are going to start valuing it. And even like conversation we've had with like people at youth group and stuff like that, they're valuing the in-face more now.
Yeah.
So it seems like that's the way we're leaning, is that
For sure.
regression of online, living your entire life online. The regression of that is going to start hitting. So that's interesting.
I would love to look up statistics. I'm sure Barna has done something on this, or some other, maybe even the CDC has done info. I wonder if like Gen Z is more, values the in-person more than the online already. Just the first generation that has truly grown up potentially with a phone in their hand from little kid to now. I'm wondering if this generation statistically is shown to value the in-person.
Yeah, there's so many questions to be had from that, because it's like, I feel that there was a certain amount of the value of the living online was the newness.
Yeah,
right?
totally.
Because for you and I, we didn't grow up with that.
Yeah.
Like as a kid, in-person connection is what I had. Like that was the norm.
Yeah.
So the online was new and different.
Yeah.
So now when kids are growing up with the online ever present, the in-person is different.
Yeah. And then especially with COVID shoving kids in middle school and in elementary school and early high school towards just online.
Yeah.
And that, I'd be interested to see stats on that, of what young people are feeling, at which we're still a part of. We can hold on to that.
Right on the edge. Right on the edge.
Yeah, almost 30. 30 approaching quickly.
Dude, don't remind me, man.
AI is definitely interesting. Like I've said, I've heard it explained in a couple really interesting ways. One, I heard someone say it's like working with myself on my best day. Like like on when there's no brain fog, I'm not tired, I'm not sick. Like it's like working with myself organizationally, like on my best day. The other I heard in a like more church context was, I don't have to hire a research assistant. Like some preachers will have their assistant do like, hey, would you look up 10 interesting facts about this Bible that normally people don't know, right? Like, hey, would you find historical stuff online that pertains to this topic? Would you find apologetics points that pertain to this? They would have someone else do that. Now that's AI. I mean, that's what AI right now.
Yeah.
Free versions do phenomenal. At information gathering like that. Now you have to verify it. You got to double check, but at least it can send you in the right direction. I found a ton of use out of that. I've definitely struggled with how to use it ethically. I've been one that's been more, I would rather just not touch it because I don't want to step into some ethically weird waters, specifically around preaching.
Right. Totally.
And talking about Jesus and sharing that and some of that. So I've never had AI do like hey, make an outline for this passage for me. And I'm not even saying that's wrong. I'm just saying I'm one that's been much more standoffish with it. But I've definitely had it be like, hey, gather all the passages in the Bible that Jesus is praying. Gather all the passages in the Bible that talk about this or that use this word in ESV. And then I start to read those passages, but it's just sending me in the right direction.
Yeah.
So I don't know. What have you seen for you with AI that has been like ethically murky waters?
I think as soon as you start having it do the actual work for you
Yeah.
is where it starts to be like, I don't know, because now you're offloading your job and
Yeah.
you're
Totally.
so I use it as
And for like school, right?
exactly.
Like that's the
Same
big
thing.
challenge in
Essay
schools
writing.
now. Yeah.
Mhm.
Like is it when is it a tool and when is it doing your essay for you?
Yeah, as far as what I have leveraged AI for specifically and what I commonly use it for is a learning tool.
Yeah.
I use it as an advanced Google search effectively.
Totally.
So like recent ones that I've done is like I'm trying to write a script to do something specific on a Windows server.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't remember the syntax of how to write this thing. Hey, write me a script that does this, and then I can parse through and go, oh yeah, that's and that's
Helps
what
remind,
yes, and then you can take that knowledge that you reminded yourself that you would do the same with a Google search.
Yeah.
But it's going and sifting through the useful Google searches for you and finding those instead of you going and sifting. So it's saving you that time. And that's what I've leaned into of like, that's how I feel comfortable using AI for. And then the other uses that I've used it for is stuff that doesn't particularly matter, like fantasy writing things of like it's writing a story or like helping me think of ideas for
we use it for the youth event that we did.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we had it wrote the script for our video. We did like a live stream choose your own adventure type of thing where we strapped a camera or I was holding a camera and we live streamed it to the group in another building and then they chose what I did in the building and AI wrote the story for the most part.
The,
We
like,
edited
overarching
pieces,
idea,
but it wrote yeah. So okay, so here's a hard question. This is what makes people anxious. If AI separate from school, because school is a different conversation, in your workplace, if AI can do your job, should you do your job? Or should the company just pay for AI to do it?
The thing about AI, right, is that at the current juncture, there has to be someone that's going to leverage the AI. So people have been saying that AI is going to steal people's jobs. The counter argument to that is no, it's someone that knows how to use AI is going to take your job. Yeah. That's because they're just going to be more efficient.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. I mean, that's the same like when things switched from and obviously we weren't around for this necessarily, but heard a bunch of people talk about that there was a similar attitude with email. It was like, hey, we're going to move from writing things and passing notes to email. And if you're not going to do that, if you're not going to jump on the email train, we're going to have to let you go because email is just so much more efficient and it's going to help you to do your job even better. So you're saying kind of a similar attitude with AI. Yeah. That not AI is going to take it, but someone who knows how to use AI. Yeah.
Because what I see with people that are efficiently leveraging AI is they're fast. They work very quickly and the quality of their work is still very high, but they're just using AI to gather together their thoughts or gather together the information they're trying to put together into a digestible format so that they can then write it out how they need it to be.
Yeah. So then, and that leads to another point of someone cast a vision. I think I was listening to a podcast and they were talking about how someone else described it. So I can't cite this properly, but whatever. And it was really compelling to me, which was, hey, it made AI right now can take aspects of most secretary desk jobs. But imagine a world that AI does the remedial stuff that we don't like anyways, like the information gathering, the form organizing, the layout, the stuff like that. And then your secretary, your desk job, your administrative roles are now not tied up in the like day-to-day of that, and they can begin to think bigger picture about how the organization operates on an administrative level. So the jobs that are simply doing the writing of forms or formatting things or doing some research, like if that's all you do, those jobs are going to be gone. But at this point, I don't think that there's a lot of people that only do that. No, and so then AI will do that, and then that will allow our administrative people in any organization to think more broadly about how the organization functions rather than being tied up in filling out this form or formatting this document.
I think of AI very similarly. I wasn't obviously alive for the dawn of computers as they started to be more commonly used everywhere. But I am almost feeling it's like the same for workforce level stuff. It's
Yeah.
the same like efficiency bump. Like as people really started to leverage computers, the efficiency of work went way up. So
Yeah.
in the same vein, as they start to efficiently leverage AI, their efficiency is going up even with using computers.
Well, we've seen that with technology, how fast things have improved and how big of jumps that would usually take in other things centuries. We're seeing a faster uptick in our technological level, except for getting to the moon, apparently.
Can't do that.
So, yeah, I love that you bring up similar to the computers because I think there was, I think it is so similar with the positives and the negatives, right? Like we've seen a vast amount of positive from computers. That's why they're still around. That's why, as a society, we have not kicked them out. There's been enough of a benefit that has outweighed the big negatives, though. So, like positives, like you said, efficient work and then connectivity to the world and broadening our perspectives and not being so locked into the bubble that we live in, but having a broader perspective, staying in contact with people, things like that, and so much more. And then like pornography is accessed like it never was before. And pornography is an issue like it never was before. Human trafficking, the internet is a tool that is used for that, just like it's used for your work on a day-to-day basis, right? Like all of these huge negatives, like you're saying, the bad actors are able to use it just like the good actors are. And AI, I think, is going to be the same thing. And like we're seeing, I feel like every other day I'm getting an ad on some stupid phone game that I'm playing for a AI chatbot that isn't designed to be helpful in work or in assembling things. It is designed to just chat with you. Some of that isn't necessarily bad, but again, it's looking for connection outside of what's real.
Yes.
And a lot of that is just sex chats, like with an AI. Like and it's just running rampant.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I agree that it's very similar in that there are some really big negatives and some really big positives. So as a society, we've got to think critically. Do the negatives outweigh the positives? And if they don't, then how can we limit the negatives with policy, with just how we operate our households? Yeah, because I don't know. Some of the stuff at the end of the day, if I don't know, I'll let you talk and I'll formulate some of my thought.
Yeah, I think like the chatbots, those are so creepy to me. I see those ads; it's so crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the same level of like wariness that people had with computers in their own right. Like it's the same as you go into it. I think AI has different bad potential than computers did, because AI is a little more specific. I think the biggest negative is information pollution, basically, because anybody with access to ChatGPT and $20 can get ChatGPT Pro and make fake videos.
Yeah.
And those fake videos are convincing if you take the time and prompt it well enough.
Yeah.
It will make you a very convincing video. So like if that's the price of being able to get millions and millions of clicks on YouTube, which then pays you tens of thousands of dollars because you have ad revenue off your YouTube video, why would you not just make a bunch of fake information and just keep pumping it out to continue?
Gain money. Yeah.
So that's the bad, like biggest bad actor like that comes to my mind when I think of AI is that Twitter, all of that, or X, sorry.
So
So that's where it's going to be. It's all those like political stories where you see like, oh, this just happened there, and then you go look at it and it's like, oh no, that was AI.
Yeah.
That didn't actually happen.
So on maybe even a little bit broader of a question, for parents right now that haven't necessarily grown up with this stuff or aren't as in tune like you are in the tech world and industry, it's literally part of your job. How do we keep our kids safe?
I think so. For me, if I were currently raising kids that knew how to access like the internet, ChatGPT, stuff like that, personally, and this takes a little bit of technical know-how, but I would block those sites in our house. Like I would literally on our internet connection, I would block every AI site I can think of. Obviously, there's some that I'd probably allow that are like specifically like educational based and stuff like that. But like the big ones like ChatGPT, those like just broad spectrum, they'd just be blocked. And there are ways to do that on pretty much every internet provider you have known to man. You can block access to anything. So that's what I would say. From
an internet level rather than a device level.
Yes.
Which I think is important, that if you're a parent listening, that you can talk to your internet provider and have them block sites. So that it doesn't matter what device is using your Wi-Fi, but any device will not be allowed there.
Obviously, there's a lot more complexity, like
for sure.
That you block it for specific things coming through. You could get real specific on it, but for me, there isn't enough value that I gain from using it that I would want my kids exposed to possible things, because ChatGPT has access to everything on the internet. Literally has access to everything, so it can tell your kid anything. On the internet. So they search for something on ChatGPT, it can find it. And it will, even if those sites you blocked.
Interesting.
So
I didn't know that.
ChatGPT doesn't use your internet connection to browse. It uses its own server connection. So it can go to any website, even if you have it blocked locally. So like if you're blocking porn sites or something, your kids could use an AI tool to find those things. Not necessarily. I don't think ChatGPT does that, but there are infinite AI tools out there. So
totally, yeah. That's really fascinating. Wow, yeah. So you just straight up block it. You'd go, we don't know enough at this point to be able to. Limit.
And obviously, if my kids were older, like if they were in their teenage years, obviously, then that can be like a conversation of like, hey, here's how you would use this tool. Like if we see that you're misusing it, it's going to get blocked again. But like you can use this, like if you're doing homework and you're doing research and you're trying to find information, like it's a great tool for that. So there are some upsides that you have to weigh the balance. And like, do I think my kid is old enough to be prompting an AI tool? Where do we land on that? You know, it's just like, when Facebook was coming out, do I think my kid is old enough to have a Facebook? Right.
And each family is going to have to make their choice.
Exactly.
There.
And that's totally up to the parent making the decision of like, do I think my kid is at a mature enough place mentally to handle a tool of this power?
I think it's really helpful for people to know what it can do, because then that can inform the decision. And I don't know, like for me, like social media and Discord and some of these different things can also be in that way of like, okay, I can go to different channels on Discord and see their whatever channels they have there, whatever images they're putting up or conversations that they're having. And knowing how to navigate some of that. What like resources are there to learn some of that stuff? Like, is that just
like on how to navigate like
if I'm a parent and I'm like, there's a Discord app on my kid's phone, like how do I see if they're okay?
Well, if you go here to Cold Springs Church and you need info about Discord, I can talk to you straight up. I'm very familiar with Discord, so that's an actual offer. If you do want to talk about Discord, I am very familiar with that platform. As far as the social media itself, generally speaking, they're pretty simple. They're not overly complex. They do what they do. So when you look at like X and Facebook, they're post-based, and you scroll a feed and it's images.
You want to find.
I would, if your kid has X, talk to them and get them off of X. That place is a wasteland. There are no rules on that platform. I am fairly confident. Facebook is a little bit more controlled because there is, you have to be friends with people.
You're gonna want to look at direct messages.
Exactly. I don't know specifically. I know a lot of these sites have parental controls that you can set up. I don't know how deep those go. I haven't really explored into that. As far as resources to learn about those sites, I think honestly the best way is for you to use it. Not
Yeah.
necessarily that you have to actively like post a bunch on Instagram or like do that, but just take some time and be in that ecosystem, and you'll start to see what it's about.
Well, and I think
and
on
how
like
it
like
works.
social media, especially now, like we're in a generation of parents that have been on Instagram, that have been on Facebook, that have been on these things, and they know the dangers, they know how it's affected them, and how they don't want it to affect their kids. So I think we're stepping into a time more familiarity there. But yeah, with AI, I don't know. I find it really helpful to understand, hey, when AI is looking for something, it's not looking for something off of the power of your Wi-Fi, but somewhere else. So what you may have blocked here isn't necessarily blocked on that chat bot or that AI tool. I think that's really helpful and to set up some of those things. But yeah. I think I think what you say of like, come talk to me is something really profound, is that our church communities have people that know tech in them. And so if you've got questions, if you want to know, if you want to talk about that, look for someone in your church. And if you go here, you talk to me or Zach, or there's a few other guys.
The likelihood, check the sound booth.
Girls.
Whatever church you go to, the likelihood,
good.
the people
That's
that know
good.
about it, they're probably
They're
back
probably
there.
in the sound booth. Yeah.
Because
in some way, shape, or
one, they
form.
usually don't massively enjoy talking to a lot of people, so they want to be in the back corner. And two, they like working with the tech, so they'll probably be in the sound booth. So that's usually a good place to start if you're looking for any guidance from somebody that's in your church community.
Yeah. Well, I think in a time of going to a different topic, in a time of we're thinking through Christianity, where's Jesus in AI or in other things? Like, I think we're in a time that, yes, the big danger of AI, I agree with you, is misinformation, like just straight up false things looking real. But I also think we have, especially with AI, we have broader access to information than we ever have before. With the internet in general, that's been the big thing. But now with AI, it's an even another level of being able to access and reach and think of things that you never would have been able to, because AI is able to gather it and bring it and present it. So with Christianity, I mean, there's so many things that we can look up and be sure of in our faith. And I think more and more we are, as churches and as people of that follow Jesus, we need to introduce people not to information, but to an experience with Jesus. And you've been leading the high school guys small group every Friday for 2 years, a year.
Yeah, I think it'll be 2 years, like at the end of this fall. I think.
Yeah. So what are you seeing out of high school guys? What are they looking for on that front? Are they looking for more information? Are they looking for, what do you see?
Yeah, I think at least for the group that we've done, they very much enjoyed. We were doing a portion of the apologetics section that was the science in the Bible section. So it's really seeing how science actually supports what the Bible says more than goes against it.
Totally.
And they were very interested in that. And then even talking to them about what we're going to do going into this next semester, they're really hungry for those secondary sources of supporting sources of information around the Bible. Because obviously, they go to youth group, they go to normal Sunday services, they get the Bible scholar stuff, they get the direct source information. So they're hungry for that more info around it. The group of guys is great. They're great. And then obviously they're there for the community too. Like it's the in-person interaction. They're there for it, So it's It's a fun time with those guys.
Yeah, so. That's cool. So what do you see moving forward, since we're the generation moving and beginning to take over the workforce, and we're the young bucks coming in? What do you think that our generation with technology and AI, what do you think the mark is that we're going to leave on the church specifically?
That is an interesting question. I think our generation values like quality of experience, I want to say, is the best way to describe it. And by that, I mean a other than just the information we're being given,
Yeah.
the presentation of that information is also very important. Like you can think the popularity of like TikTok, right?
Yeah.
The presentation of the information is the reason that TikTok
Totally.
is popular.
Yeah.
The way that they present their information is why it's popular. So in the same vein, the way that you're going to grab the attention of young people is the presentation of the information,
Yeah.
how you're going about putting things on screens, how you're going about putting
Yeah.
things on social media, how you're even structuring how you're speaking about a topic
Yeah.
is going to change how they're going to interact and how they're going to absorb and even, keep interacting with the
Totally.
content.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and I think like something like TikTok is definitely quantity over quality, which is the whole point of limiting it to a minute video max or something like that. Ideally 7 seconds. But I think that there is a strive for quality overall, even though there's an attraction to the TikTok to scroll and doom scroll. There's a desire for quality. And not just to make something big, but to make it meaningful. And so then how it's presented, how it's capturing attention for sure, and actually experiencing Jesus. Because like for both of us, our moments of Jesus becoming real didn't have to do with the technology. It had to do with the Holy Spirit grabbing a hold of us. And if technology can lead us to a space that we're not thinking about, oh, I wish I want more. I wish the screen was bigger. I can't even see what's going on. What's the quality? Like if technology can lead us to a space of where we're captured to begin with, then I think that can lead to better. I don't know. I wouldn't say bigger, better, but the Holy Spirit works, and our generation is looking for quality, and technology provides a quality unlike we've ever seen.
yeah, I think the way that I see it, at least, is the technology is the TikTok. It's the attention grab.
Yeah.
Post that is the quality. You get
Totally.
the quality of the message, the quality of the worship, whatever it is, right? The moment,
Yeah.
the quality of the moment.
Yeah.
For me, in my eyes, the facilitation, I'm going to use worship as an example just
Yeah.
because it's the easiest because I
Yeah.
work with it so often. The quality of the experience that you see, you hear, you feel,
Yeah.
if it's at a certain quality, it almost fades away, if that makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah,
You fade into the moment.
Yeah.
You're just absorbing the moment rather than focusing on what's happening.
Yeah.
It's you just get sucked into the moment, and what allows that is obviously, good musicians, good, presentation, all that stuff, and the technology behind them to help them facilitate
Yeah.
their talent to create that moment, and then they fade out.
And it's your preferences too, to some extent,
For sure.
right? But yeah, I think that's good. And every generation has had its attention grab, right? The big stage, or the new instrument that came out, or the whole orchestra, or the big ordeal, or the super small, or whatever the attention grab is. There is one, and then the quality has to be at such a level that it fades away, and it's just about Jesus, and that would be the goal. Yeah. So you serve primarily in the tech booth on a Sunday morning, helping out with the sound, and you're here so much, helping us engineer all that. Where have you found that your serving is, I don't know, how have you found fulfillment when your serving is in the background?
I think for me, at least on like normal Sundays, when I see people engaging with the worship, that means that I'm doing my job.
Yeah.
That means that I've created a mix or such an
Yeah.
atmosphere that they are able to engage with the worship in a meaningful way. So when I see people, whether that's like raising their hands or they're swaying to the music,
Yeah.
they're in the moment of worship. They're getting to the point where the product, so to speak, isn't what's important at that point.
Yeah.
It's the Holy Spirit. It's Jesus. They're being led to the point that we're trying to.
Yeah.
So that's like the day to day almost, like where I see it. It's like, that's what we're striving for.
Yeah.
And then obviously I have like the big moments like Mission Placerville where it's just huge, crazy. There's 120 people in jumping around doing all that stuff. So then there's those high moments. But yeah, it's really just seeing people being led into the moment, and that's enough at that point.
Yeah.
That means that I've hit the mark, so to speak.
Yeah.
So
That's cool. Well, great job.
I just do what I can with the talents that I was given. So
Yeah. Huh. Yeah. Well, okay, last one and then we'll go. How have you, so we both play video games. Our, excuse me, our friend group is very much video game, esque, adjacent or very much in it. How have you seen video games be a positive to our friend group?
I think for sure it was the connection stuff. Like it's something that brings us all together
Yeah.
a lot of the time. And it's because it's just like when we go out and play football, right? The activity isn't necessarily what's important at that point. It's we're doing stuff together and we're spending that time together. I think a lot of the video games, especially the ones we played in high school, I think it really brought our group closer together as a whole. We really formed a more tight-knit friendship between, the group of us that played CS together when we did used to do all the in-houses and all that stuff. I think that it can be definitely a community builder. And deepening of friendships because you're doing stuff together so often. So you hear that parents, when you see your kid playing video games, they might just be, spending time with their friends.
Totally.
Obviously,
For sure.
if they need to do homework or something, there's lines, but
So
it's not all bad.
Totally. What do you think has been the negative?
I think there is a line of too much time spent, and I've hit that line even
me too.
Even as a 26-year-old. I was up till 2:30 last night.
Yeah.
I work a 9-to-5 job. Why am I up at 2:30?
Yeah.
Right. So there's obviously that negative, and it definitely is a lot of the games suck you into a different world, and you forget where you are.
Avoid. Yeah.
Yeah, and for better or for worse, even if you're not trying to avoid, right?
Totally.
You get sucked in, and then I'm sitting there like, I've been playing this game for 5 hours.
Yeah.
I need to go.
Totally.
I have
What am I
stuff
doing?
to do today.
Yeah.
What have I? Yeah.
Yeah. I think too, especially as men, and men are more sucked in by video games than women on a
General level, yeah.
general level. I know when I have felt like I'm not succeeding at job, at family, at whatever else, that I can go in and go kill it in a video game. Like literally and figuratively. Like I can go find success quickly in a 30-minute match, in a 15-minute match that I may not be finding in the rest of my life. So it can be a literal escape into a different world, but also a literal escape from my life that feels like a failure factory that I can go in here and just feel that success or like a hunter-gatherer mentality. In some games you literally are hunting and gathering. And I think it for men especially, but for people in general, it tickles that I'm still successful, even if we're not feeling it in the rest of our lives. And then for me, it's been an experience of then I'm not dealing with how I'm feeling about my day or my week or my month. I'm just going somewhere else to numb or prop myself up when I'm not feeling especially up. And so I think I've been for a while putting video games on the same reason that I run to a video game in a unhealthy way as the same reason that I would run to alcohol, to pornography, to whatever else. It's just something a little bit more acceptable.
Right. Yeah, obviously there are levels to the
100%.
Badness of things you run to, right?
100%.
But the reason is still the same,
Yes.
right? You're running for an escape, whether that's like just a break or whatever it is, and that doesn't always have to be a bad thing, right?
100%.
But it can be.
Yeah.
And I think there has to be the evaluation of like, why am I doing this? Am I purely doing this because I enjoy it and I have the time and I like doing this? Great. Perfect. That's a healthy relationship with a hobby. Perfect. Are you doing it because, man, today sucked and I don't want to think about what else I have to do?
Totally.
You might want to reevaluate why you're delving into video games, instead of taking the time to unpack that
Totally.
and deal with it in a healthy way instead.
And I think like I'm in a stage of my life right now that I think I have a really healthy relationship with it, and there's a lot of pressures to push me into that. And that's not even necessarily just a reflection of time, but it's a reflection of, like you're saying, why am I doing it to begin with? Because there are times that we need to just shut our brain off from the
Play a video
busyness of the
game.
week, and we're gonna watch TV, we're gonna go do a bike ride, we're gonna play a video game, we're gonna do whatever. But there, it has to be like everything else, a healthy relationship. And I wish I held to some of the structure that my parents gave me when I was in their house with video games. Because when I moved out or when I was an adult, it felt like the dam just opened up and I could play video games whenever I wanted, and I just took it way too far.
Oh yeah, me too.
Yeah, and I think our whole friend group did.
Oh,
and
100%.
we were doing it with each other.
Oh yeah, that's the thing.
So that's where I think it can be such a trap, is that we're doing it with each other, but it's not real relationship, but it is still shared experience. So it's like you're getting some of the things that you need as a human, but it's counterfeit. Like you're not getting all of it. But I do appreciate our friend group. We've had some real conversations at 10 p.m. on Discord playing a video game. So I do appreciate that our friend group does make it as real as it can be. And it's fun. Yeah. But it's got to be a healthy relationship for sure.
Yeah.
Which we're all trying to figure out. So tell me when you get there.
Yeah, I'll let you know when I stop staying up till 2:30.
Yeah. Well, I'm at a stage of life that I was up at 2:32, but
For a
just not
different
the
reason.
same
Yeah, I think your reason's more acceptable than mine usually. In this
It's
case,
still just as negative.
yeah, it does
my
have
sleep.
it does have still the same negative effect. Like the effect is still the same. The reason is usually more acceptable in this case.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you for coming on and having
dude.
the conversation that we do. What do you think of the drink? The
Dude,
matcha green tea.
It's pretty solid.
latte.
Like
I like matcha.
I like matcha too. So obviously, if you don't like matcha, you won't like it. But it's like a 7 or an 8. It's pretty good.
There you go. Yeah, I'm at a 6.
It's a pretty decent matcha.
I like it. Yeah.
Like it's not perfect.
So sometimes people will go, and I have this opinion about a few different things. If you drown your salad in salad dressing, you don't like salad. You like the salad dressing, right? Like if there's just so many things. I would even say for people, okay, I'm gonna get in trouble for this. I don't think people like potatoes as much as they like the things that they put on potatoes.
Yeah, I think I think you're probably on the right track here, and I know that you're not a fan of many potato products.
No, I'm not.
And
The
generally
texture
speaking,
throws me off. But even if I like the texture, it has no taste. That's why you add cheese and beans and butter and whatever else. Okay, same thing with rice.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Is a hot take.
But okay,
It's a
so
carb.
past that, with coffee, it's the same thing. Do you like coffee or do you like coffee creamer? Okay,
Nope.
this is gonna
It
mess
is
with
the
some
same-
people.
it is
I
the
think
same
we
thing.
just have to be honest with ourselves.
Oh, yeah.
Matcha's in that same category because matcha. I've had matcha from Starbucks that is like that's not matcha. That is sweetener, and it looks green. And then I've had matcha that's like, okay, I like this. It's that nutty, like earthy feel. This nails that. I
Yeah,
think
this is the nutty
like the
for sure.
almond is good matched with the matcha. I think, and it's good. So this is probably way too in depth, but that's my beef with matcha. I like real matcha. I don't like sweetener.
Yeah.
Yeah. Amen. All right. I'm at a
agree.
6. You're at an 8 or a 7.
7 or an 8. Yeah.
It's awesome. Well, thank you for joining us, and
thanks for
thank
having
you
me.
guys for tuning in. We post a pop podcast every Wednesday, unless if I suck. So hopefully I don't suck this week, and you're gonna see this on a Wednesday, and then we will see you next week on Wednesday as well. Thank you for joining the Pop Podcast. Love you guys.